I'm very excited to have Pablo here with you. He's the CEO of Style Systems. He's a guy that takes guys just like you who have no idea where to start, how to dress, especially on a tight budget, and he makes them look amazing. So he has kindly agreed to be interviewed for this bonus, and I think you guys are really going to get a lot out of it. So first of all, Pablo, I just want to say hi, and if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hey, hello, brother. Hello, hello. Thanks a lot for the introduction. I'm Pablo, CEO and founder of Style Systems, which, just like you said, it's about helping out guys and girls also to become the best version of themselves through their style and personal image, grooming, and whatnot.
Awesome. I'm sure I'll learn a trick or two from you on this call as
Yeah,
well.
I'm pretty excited to do this, and I want to thank you for inviting me to do this, man.
My
Thank you.
pleasure. My pleasure. I hope we're able to reach a lot of guys and help make the world a better looking place. That's my that's my goal here.
Cheers to that. I love that. Of course. Let's make this happen, man.
So Pablo, my first question for you: the guys who are watching this right now, the guys taking this course, are mostly brand new to style. They have no idea where to start, and most importantly, they have no idea what mistakes they're making and where they're going wrong right now. So why don't you let us know from what you've seen with your clients, what are the three most common mistakes that you see guys making and how can they fix them?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up because I see a lot with my clients, and not just with my clients, but anywhere in the world, guys not having a clue on how to step up with their style, and they're kind of bumping into too much information. Like, oh right, should I read this magazine? This magazine is telling me to do this. This magazine or this TV show is doing me to do that, and I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start, man. So that's the first thing that most people ask me, like, what is this all about? And when I see guys trying to look more attractive, the first thing and the first is the fit. Oh man, the fit. Too many guys wear bigger clothes or smaller clothes than their proportions, right? Than their body proportions. And that is the first and most common mistake that everyone does. I mean, you'd be surprised to see how many guys are wearing a shirt that is bigger than the one they should be wearing. Also, the pants, they're too baggy, or the suit. When you pick up a suit, the most common mistake is also that it should be fitted. It should be tailored. It doesn't cost more than what, $10 to get tailored, to get your suit tailored, and it would look awesome on you because the the pads over here are too loose, or it looks bad. When you wear something that it's unique to your body and to your proportions with your fit, your size, you immediately look more attractive. That's the first thing that I always recommend with guys looking for my advice is, you gotta know and you gotta be honest with your size, man. If you're chubby, I don't care. If you're too skinny, I don't care. You must choose and pick the right clothes for your body proportions. And that's the first thing that everyone should know.
So the first thing, just to recap, is not getting clothes that actually fit them.
Exactly. That's it. That's the first mistake that
I know you definitely used to make that mistake when I was first in college and learning about attracting women. My wardrobe was basically cargo shorts and just extra large one color T-shirts. It was really a mess, and no surprise that I had the failure that I did back then, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you look bigger. Or, I mean, sometimes it's just like the psychology, right, in your head. Like, if you're a little bit chubby and you think like wearing bigger clothes are going to make you look smaller, but that's not true. That's not true. I mean, if you wear bigger clothes, you're gonna look bigger, and if you wear smaller size clothes than the one you should be wearing, you're gonna look ridiculous because the parts of your skin are gonna be bumping up like this, and it looks terrible, man. You should be wearing clothes that fit you. That's the first thing. And the other one, you mentioned it. It's color. Being afraid of getting too much attention. Like most people or most guys just wear black, gray, white, and that's all they wear, blue. So not knowing how to match colors, it's a big mistake also. Because you're like a photograph. You wear the same thing all the time, and like being too scared of trying new colors, man.
So then the first one is make sure you wear clothes that actually fit you.
Yep,
And the second one is don't just randomly throw on anything because you think it looks good, but make sure that the colors actually match and
exactly.
represent you. Okay,
And later on, we're gonna cover that in a way, in a deeper way, the color theory.
cool. So later on we'll do that practical tips how to match the colors. And then
Exactly.
a minute ago before the recording started, you and I were talking about socks, which is something that when we see guys doing it wrong, it bothers both of us. So why don't you let the world know the most common mistake that guys are making with their socks and what they should be doing instead?
Actually, it's a two-part mistake. Please, guys, do not wear white socks. Never wear white socks unless you're in the gym. I mean, unless you're gonna go work out, then and only then you can wear your white socks. But other than that, it looks terrible, man. And the other part of the of that mistake is your shoes. The shoes, man. Nobody pays attention to the shoes, and shine your shoes, make sure they're clean and nice, they're tied very neatly and they're great. They look great. So it's actually the feet. The mistake is the feet. Take care of your feet, man. The socks and the shoes.
Good, that's good advice. And I know guys don't care that much, or we might make the mistake of thinking that women don't notice shoes and socks, but they absolutely do. I mean, if you look at the amount of time and energy they spend getting, I mean, they have hundreds of pairs of shoes. Some of these women, this is something they definitely notice right away.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that you're into the pickup community and all that, and you've probably interviewed a lot of girls, and they always say that the first thing that they notice is the shoes. They can tell. Well, a lot of girls have told me that they can know a lot of a guy by looking at their shoes. And we don't, and most guys don't even pay attention to that, to the shoes or the socks. They're like, I'm just gonna put some loafers and that's it, man. I don't care if they're dirty or anything. I mean, I don't care. They don't pay attention to that. I mean, fuck it. But that's a big mistake, man.
Okay, so then just to recap before we move on to the next section, the three big mistakes you see, the most common mistakes are not having your feet together, not having the fit down, and not having the colors actually match. These are you would say those are like the very, very basics of style?
To start off, yeah, for someone that doesn't even know what style is, what size they should be wearing, what size of the clothes. That's the most common thing, and that's where you should be paying attention to improving your style, into improving your personal image. But there's a lot of mistakes, There's also like not knowing how to tie your tie, the tie knot. That's also another mistake. There's a lot of mistakes that I'm looking forward to do this on another time, a different time, helping out your clients and your friends, saying more of the mistakes. But right now, I just shared three of the most common mistakes, but there's a lot of
Yeah,
mistakes
no,
people are
I
doing.
see it all the time. People wearing white socks with black dress shoes is like a pet peeve. For some reason, it annoys me when I see other people dressed like that.
You're not Michael Jackson, man. Only Michael Jackson can pull that up.
Okay, awesome. That's really good information, and I'm sure the guys listening are getting a lot out of that. So that kind of leads into the next question, which is if the shoes and socks are really important, different styles that a guy can pick from, depending on his unique personality and what works for him. So would you mind just for the next maybe 20 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes, just spend a few minutes and just letting guys know what these styles are so that they can take notes and start to think about this kind of thing.
Of course, definitely. Well, To start, let me explain a little bit about the style, the theory about style. Well, the most common mistake, not knowing what style is and misusing the word. Like, hey man, I have a lot of style, and you don't have style. That's complete bullshit, man. That is a lie. Everyone has style. Let me explain you why. Style is a form of expression. It's communication. Basically, style is communication. So saying that you don't have style is saying you don't have communication. And that is stupid, man, to say that. I mean, hey, man, you don't have communication. I have a lot of communication. That's dumb. So just because everyone has style, that does not necessarily mean that everyone is using it the best way possible. So the first thing that you gotta understand with style is that everyone has style and it is a form of expression. And once you know that, we can start talking about the theory of style, which basically covers the 7 basic archetypes of human psychology. And every single company or a person is in between those 7 styles, right? And it's not only about the clothes that you wear, it's also about the form of your communication, the people you hang out with, the places you go, what you own, what kind of car you own, and all that together. If you put that all together, that becomes your style.
So it's kind of
So
like the image that you're putting forth to the world.
exactly, it's like your avatar, like your public image, right? I mean, it's the way you're expressing yourself through your style. And also, let me explain that the word style, if you look at it, if you Google it, you're going to see that it comes from the ancient Greek stylus, the word stylus. And that was basically a pen that the Greeks used to write on wax tablets. And from there, the writers began to write on a specific way. Each writer began to form their own style, and that's where where the word comes from. Yeah, I write in this way. That guy writes, Alexander the Great writes in this particular way, and that where the word evolved into style, into a unique form of expression. And the other part of the word comes from Latin. It's stimulare. The word stimulare, and stimulare means to stimulate. So if you take these 2 words, stilus, which is a form of expression of communication, and stimulare, which means to stimulate, you get these 2 words, and it becomes style. Your audience. Now, your audience can be the woman you want to pick up, your boss, or the job you're trying to get, your family. I don't know, man. I don't know what you do, but you always have people to interact with, right? So you need to stimulate them because now you're going to make communication a lot easier. I mean, it would take a lot of fucking time and effort getting to know each person through the creation of comfort, right? Like you and I know pickup, right? Let's say we go into a girl and, hey, what's your name? I'm very interested in you. I want to know what you do. What are your dreams? Man, she's gonna say, fuck up, man. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't even know you. Come on. Now, through my style, using my mustache, using this little flower over here, this thing, making communication a lot easier. I'm explaining to the world who I am. Now, I own this type of car. I live in a certain place. Now, people see that and they're going to start saying, oh, okay, now this guy probably likes this kind of music. This guy probably went to this sort of school. This guy, blah, 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 blah. And communication starts to get a lot easier. And that is what style is for. It's not just clothing, man. So that is a mistake. Also, another mistake, misusing the word style. Hey, man, I have a lot of style. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, man. Don't ever use that word again in that way. Now, with that being said, let's review the 7 different styles from the basic human psychology, the 7 archetypes, right? The first one is called natural style. the natural style. Natural style. Let me explain the seven, and then I'll go into each one a little bit. Right? It's natural, natural style, classic style, elegant style, dramatic style, romantic style, seductive style, and creative style. Those are the seven different styles that you can see anywhere in the world. I don't care if you're Muslim, if you're American, if you're Mexican. I don't give a fuck, man. You're in these seven styles. And actually, a company or a person is in between two at the top. You can be in between two different styles. I mean, you can be a natural, a seductive natural, for example. There are styles that match very perfectly, and there are styles that can never be combined, like classic and seductive. Someone that has a seductive style can never be a classic style, and someone who has a classic style can never become a seductive style. And I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. So let's talk about the natural style. The natural style basically is people who are very easy to hang around with. You know, they don't. They're like, you know, they're in the way their hair is put up, and you know, the clothes that even the colors that they pick, they're very earthy, like brown, green, blue, like those type of colors, and they're very cheerful. They're very friendly. They're like, you know, they're people oriented. They're easygoing. You know, a perfect example of a natural style would be who's this guy? Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor. if you know Ewan McGregor, you can, or the other one, Wolverine. What's his name? Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman. He's a natural style. You know, they're very cheerful. They're like, hey, no problem, man. Yeah, whatever. It's all good, man. No problem. Now, if you don't take care of the natural style, they can become a hippie. Someone who doesn't give a fuck about their image, and they become very, what's the word? Like sloppy. If you don't take care of a natural style. Now, one of the strengths of being a natural, if you take care of that style, is they attract people. You know, when you're in a different city and you're lost, and you wanna ask someone, hey man, where can I find a restaurant? Usually the first person that you talk to is a natural kind of guy, because they're very friendly. They attract people. They're like easygoing. They reduce the stress in their interaction. That's another strength. Interesting. They reduce the stress in any interaction. They're very easygoing and easy to talk to. Now, let's review the creative style. You're going to see that they're very different. Each and every one of those styles are very different. The creative style is basically someone that is very original, very artistic. They're like they're edgy, right?
Like a Johnny Depp type of character almost.
Excuse me?
Do you know the actor Johnny Depp?
Like the actors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say
an example would be Johnny Depp.
Okay.
He's a very creative style guy.
Yeah, very ornamented, different hats and rings and bracelets and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, like you know, Nicki Minaj also, they wear a lot of things. They match I don't know, maybe I'm wearing this stripe shirt, and then I'm like, yeah, the same, man. Good. And then they're gonna wear what do you call it?
A tie?
A tie, but with a different pattern that only on them. Because if I wear that and I'm not a creative style, I'm gonna look dumb. I'm gonna look ridiculous. So only then they can pull off that kind of style, you know, that different patterns, different combination of colors and all that. That to you or to me it would be crazy to wear that, but to them it's very artistic. They always trying to express their artistic way of thinking. Like, yeah, man, I'm wearing this and I'm wearing that, and I don't give a fuck, right? One of the strengths of the creative is they have a unique way of individuality, you know, like Johnny Depp. No one can copy them because they have a unique form of expression. Like it's very, very, very different from the world. The other thing is they're innovative. They're always trying to innovate, to create. Like, okay, maybe if I paint this a little different, maybe if I paint a stripe on my jacket over here, it's gonna look better. Maybe if I take my shoes and put a different color lace on them, and it's gonna look better. And they're always trying to create. Some of the creative people are into fashion. Like they are fashion designers and all that things. And the risk that if you don't take care of the creative style, you can look very ridiculous. You can look dumb. You can look stupid if you don't take care of that style. Yeah. So basically, a creative person, if you don't take care of your style, you can lack seriousness. You can look like a child, like dumb. A child wears different style type of things. It's like too much. But if an adult person does that and doesn't pay attention to his creative style, they can look ridiculous, right? Another example of a creative guy would be David Beckham. You know David Beckham? He's a creative guy, a creative style guy. Now let's look at a classic. The classic is the it's like a traditional style, like wearing suits. Have you ever watched Mad Men?
Yeah, I love that show. I love the way they dress in that show. It's amazing.
That's very classic style. That's classic style. You just look at Don Draper, and that's a classic traditional style. It looks very neat. I love that kind of style, but that's my style. That's the other thing, man. Some of the people think that one style is better than the other, but that's not true. Each style is relative to each person. It doesn't mean that a creative is worse than the elegant or than the seductive. Each one of the seven styles are different. No one is better. No, not one single style is better than the other. It's just different. We gotta get into our head that because we see Mad Men, we see GQ magazines, and we look, oh man, I want to look like Don Draper. But maybe you're not a classic style guy. Maybe you're a creative guy. You can rock on the look of Johnny Depp, and you will still look very attractive and very cool. But you're trying to be someone that you're not. That's one of the things you gotta learn about styles. Learn what's your style to then own it, right? So the classic style is a very serious kind of guy. He's like timeless, discreet. The clothes that he wears, they will never go out of fashion or never go out of style, which we don't have to use that word, right? But a perfect example would be Don Draper. The other one would be Robert De Niro, for example. He's a classic. It's like old fashioned.
Yeah, always wearing a suit.
Yeah, always wearing a suit, a jacket, a shirt. Always, always, always. The strength of a classic style guy is they project responsibility, they project loyalty, they project credibility. They're very serious. Like if you meet with Don Draper, let's imagine you meet with Don Draper. He's like an authority, right? He's like, oh man, he's the guy, man. He's the man. Whatever you say, man, it's all cool. That's one of the strengths of having a classic style. The risk of a classic style is being outdated. It's like you're gonna look too old fashioned, right? Like you look boring, you look unattractive sometimes if you don't take care of your classic style.
I've noticed that it depends on where you are. So, for example, there's a couple nearby towns near where I live where you can go out at night and meet people and everything. And one of
Mm.
those places I didn't realize, but most people just wear shorts and flip flops and like plaid short sleeve button down shirts. So when I went there the first time, I was dressed up kind of similar to how you're dressed now. I had a pocket square and a blazer and all that, and I stuck out like a sore thumb. And people, I'm not even joking, people would come up to me from across the bar and say, "You're overdressed." Like they would just call it out. And in my head, I thought, no, all of you are underdressed. But they were right. In the context of that town, I was overdressed because I wasn't taking my environment into account. I didn't know what the people there dressed like.
That yeah, you gotta know your environment. You gotta be always aware and calibrate. I mean, I know my style, and I'm always dressed this way. Always, even on sun moon, always I'm gonna be dressed this way, man. But if I'm going to a ghetto kind of place, I'm not gonna show up dressed this way, man. You gotta know your environment, and just like in pickup, you gotta calibrate,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. Cool.
But the other thing is that one of the mistakes that I see people, or one of the things that guys don't pay too much attention to the personal image and style, is because they're afraid of getting too much attention. And just like you, people start noticing you, and they say, "Hey, what the fuck are you wearing, man? Like this, man. You're too much." Blah 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 blah, and that scares a lot of people. Attention, and you gotta own your style, man. Fuck what they think. Come on. If you invest the time into listening to this, that's great, man. I mean, you're taking the time and an investment to yourself. If you invest in yourself, you should not give a fuck what others think about you, right? So the other style is elegant. Let's talk about the elegant style. This is the most common style that everyone wants to wear. Everyone wants to become an elegant type of person. The perfect example of an elegant guy is James Bond. James Bond. He's the perfect example of the elegant style. No, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, he was in Goldeneye and a couple others.
Yeah, he was a James Bond. He is an elegant style type of person. And the thing about the elegant and the classic are very similar. The only difference is the elegant. He's a little bit more classy. He like the classic guy doesn't care about the brands. Maybe an elegant person will be wearing an Armani suit, rather than the classic guy. He doesn't care about the brands.
So it's like a higher end version of the classic style.
That I couldn't have said it better. The elegant is just like the classic, but like more classy, like a higher end version of the classic, and that's actually risks of the elegant style. Becoming a snob. Too yeah, I'm elegant. Fuck you. Being that snob, you know what I'm saying, man? Like being too presumptuous. I don't know if that's a word.
It is a word, yeah. So you're saying that you run the risk of getting that kind of elitist kind of I'm holier than thou, better than you kind of attitude.
That's actually the risk that you can take if you don't take care of the style. That's the risk. But the one of the strengths is prestige, distinction. It's like they cause limitation. They cause social position have a higher value because I'm elegant. That's why everyone wants to become admiration. Every single guy wants to become James Bond. Every single guy. Okay, man. So let's review the romantic style. Romantic style, man. Yeah.
What do you consider the style that you're wearing right now, out of curiosity? Like, what do you call what you have on right now?
I'm in between two different styles, and when I'm finished explaining the 7 different styles, I'm gonna let you figure out what's my style, man.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's do this.
Okay, I'll put my information to the test afterwards.
Yeah. The romantic style. People with this style look gentle. They look warm. They look like they're very cute, right? They're like, oh man, you're cute. Yeah, you did this. They cause proximity. Want to be near these people because they're like too cute. You're like, oh man, I want to hug you. That's the romantic style. They're charming. They actually attract the opposite sex, but that does not necessarily mean that they are good at pickup or whatever. I mean, but just because they're very charming and they're very cute, they attract the opposite sex. A perfect example of, I don't know the examples. Let me look at it. One example: Taylor Swift. She's a romantic kind of girl, a romantic style kind of girl.
Yeah, she gives off much more of like a wholesome girlfriend material kind of vibe than like Miley Cyrus, for example,
Exactly.
who
She's like,
gives
she's
off a
great.
stay away
She's in
from me
between.
vibe.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, man. She's the perfect example, like your girlfriend, like next door kind of girl, like, "Ah, I'm too cute and all that shit and all that." Another one would be Renee Zellweger. What is her number? So I don't know how to pronounce that, man. Renee Zellweger, and their strengths is that they inspire like trust. You trust these kind of guys. You're like, oh man, I want to talk to you about my problems, man, because you're a good person, right? And there's the difference between the natural guy and the romantic guy. The romantic guy, they attract people like, hey, I'm gonna hug you, and the natural guy is like more easygoing, like, hey, it's all good, man. Don't give a fuck about it. I mean, it's all good. They're very sensitive. They're emotional. The romantic kind of guys, and the risk they take is that they might be too corny. They might be too childish in some ways. Like Taylor Swift. Sometimes she's very childish. Sometimes, or if a man has a romantic kind of style, they can be too feminine. They can become too feminine, and they are not being taken seriously because they are too cute. They're like, oh man, now I'm going to get into the romantic style, which basically the romantic style is someone who looks very warm, someone who looks very gentle. It's like a charming guy or a very cute girl. It's someone who's adorable. And because of that, they cause proximity. You want to be around them because they're so cute, right? They're the kind of person that you open your heart to them because they're like easygoing, like instead of the natural, because the natural is more like a hippie, right? Like peace and love, no problem, that's it. He's more like relaxed, but the romantic style is more a people kind of guy, or a people kind of girl. He or she is like, oh man, please tell me your problems. I want to know all about you. And they're so cute and adorable. So the messages that they communicate is peace, calmness, openness, consideration for others,
Like a
and the
good, like a
strength.
relationship kind of person,
Yeah,
like a good man or a good
exactly,
woman. Okay.
exactly. That's it. Like the girl that you want to you want to marry, right? If you want to marry, the strengths of a romantic kind of style, it's that they inspire trust, like I was talking about. It's like they're in touch with their own emotions. They're in touch with their own feelings. They're very emotional, and actually that's one of the risks. If you don't take care of that style, for a man you can become very feminine, way too feminine. And you and I know that in pickup or in game, that shit doesn't work. With a girl, like, I'm gonna give you an example of a romantic person, Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah.
She's like too cute, right? Or Legally Blonde, from the movie. They're like, oh yeah, look at me, blah blah blah. And they might not be taken seriously because of that, man or woman. And that's the problem with the romantic style. And again, I have to say, people have to know this. There's no better and there's no worse. There's just relative to your own way of being. There's no, because a lot of people will say, oh man, I want to be elegant. How can I become elegant style? Well, like in the style, the questionnaire, the style questionnaire, a lot of people begin to answer it with how they want to be perceived, what they want to become, not what they are, or not what they truly are. And we get fucked up in the head, because there's no better, there's no worse. You just have to present the best version of yourself, of that style, right? So we're going to cover dramatic style. Dramatic. I love dramatic, especially in pickup and in game, man. You can easily start noticing once I tell you the seven different styles, and once I explain the dramatic style, you can begin to notice, especially in game. You know, the dramatic style is like very dominant, sophisticated, and eye catching. You know, like they want to be noticed.
Like the way Mystery used to dress, like peacocking, right? Wearing the
Exactly.
feather boas and the goggles and all that.
Exactly. That's the dramatic style.
And it
The
does work when you
peacock,
do it right.
of course, if you're gonna get noticed, if you're a beta kind of guy and you want to start getting noticed, of course, the dramatic style it's gonna bring bring the attention of everyone around you, right? But again, I have to say it doesn't necessarily mean that it will work on you. If you're not dramatic style,
Yeah,
excuse my
you have to be
French,
able to handle the attention too, because people will come up, they'll shit
exa-
test you right away. First words out of their mouth, "Why are you dressed like
yeah.
that?" You know, stuff like that.
What? Who the fuck you think you are, right? Like, who you trying to impress? Yeah, it's nice to play with the archetypes, to not be just in a box, right? You can become dramatic, then you can later on you can become seductive, then elegant. I believe that in game that because you have to learn to move through the social interactions, right? But what I was what I was going to say is that why the fuck would you wear something that you're not? That's the problem where a lot of people get confused because if you start wearing what Mystery used to wear, that works on him because he has that kind of style and he looks awesome and he rocks that style. But if I started wearing that shit, I would look very odd, you know, and I would not feel comfortable. And I can get attention and I can apply the peacock theory, but with my own style. You know,
Yeah, he talked a lot about
like
making sure that you're. He said if you're gonna dress up and peacock and look different, to make sure that it's congruent with your identity.
exactly, man. I couldn't have said it better. That's it. So basically, the dramatic style is they're shocking. There's no gray, and it's just black or white. There's no in between with them. They're very extreme in fashion and in clothing. They're like one step ahead of the trend of fashion, right?
So, like, who are there any celebrities that would be an example of that?
David Bowie, Lady Gaga. Those are perfect examples of a dramatic style. David Bowie, you know, they're dominant, sophisticated, intense. They create impact on others. One of the strengths of the dramatic style is that they have a lot of security. They have a lot of confidence in themselves. That's why they can present that way and they don't give a fuck. And also they make people submissive because they're too much, right? And others want to follow them, or the risk if you don't take care of that style, they get a lot of rejection because they're too much. It's like, man, get the hell away from me because I can't handle you. You're too much for me. So they might seem very remote, like you cannot reach them, and that's a problem if you don't take care of that style. And another the last style would be seductive style.
Mm,
Yeah, seductive style. Now, a lot of people in pickup will want to learn this, right?
of course.
Just because it says seductive doesn't mean that it works. I mean, it works on the game, but again, just what I said. You have to be congruent. People with seductive style, they're uninhibited, they're challenging, they're breathtaking, they're hot. You know, they take care of themselves. Usually, it's people that go to the gym that they know that they're hot, and they just because I mean they're flirtatious. They love flirting. They love attention. They're me, 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 me. Look at me all the time. It's me. But it doesn't mean that it will help to create a relationship with a friend or with a girlfriend. I don't know, man. It's just attraction, pure attraction. It doesn't work to create comfort if we talk about game, right? Because they just want to challenge you. They just want to challenge people. They're like, I'm hot. Can you handle me? Are you up for this challenge? I know I'm hot. You know, I know how I look. I know I'm very hot. I know I have a fucking awesome body. Now, I want your attention. Can you handle me? Like Monica Bellucci is a great example. The way she looks at the camera, the way she moves is very, very, very seductive. And actually, that's one of the strengths that they attract people. But like I said, it doesn't work to create comfort. They just attract the opposite sex. They reflect, of course, a lot of confidence, self-esteem, because they take a lot of their body and they actually take care of of their image naturally. Like the seductive style. If we talk about game, it would be the natural guy, the guy that doesn't need to learn pickup. Actually, the guy that we hate, right? And the risk that if you don't take care of that style is becoming vulgar. A girl showing too much skin, she kind of looks like a whore. Pardon my French, but she kind of looks like a whore, man. Or a man might not be taken seriously because you're like the typical guy that works out at the gym, who's very strong and, oh yeah, man, I'm hot, and too much into himself, and you're like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. They're like, they can you can feel some aggression from their part and narcissism if not taken care.
Gotcha. So it's that
Yeah,
balance between confidence and arrogance.
yeah. A perfect of a example of the seductive style with a man would be Jude Law. You know Jude Law, right? That guy is seductive style. Other, it's from that movie, Crazy Stupid Love. What is his name? What is his name? Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah.
He's seductive with natural. I don't know if you remember that I told you that you can be in between two different styles, and some styles may match, others simply can never combine, man. So I don't know if that covers all of the styles.
Yeah, I think so. And then last time, yeah, thank you for laying that all out again.
Yeah,
Um,
of course, no
last
problem.
time we talked, there were a couple things you mentioned that I found really interesting. That the guys listening to this can't see the video, but as you can see on the screen, I actually implemented your advice right away to make myself look better. You were talking
Yeah,
about warm and cold skin tone, and you were also talking about the SPFC system that you use to help all of your clients look the best as they possibly can be. Would you mind sharing some about those two topics?
of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a system that I created to simplify what you learn when you become a personal image, a professional image stylist or image consultant. Because there's a lot of technical words that people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I simplified that and I created the SPFC rule, which basically S stands for silhouette, P stands for proportion, and F stands for fit, C stands for color. And basically, what this does, it covers everything on the the outer image, simply the appearance of a person. Now, it doesn't matter if you're fat, tall, short. I don't care. I don't care if you're blonde, brunette. I don't give a fuck, man. If you implement this system, you will look good all the time, man. So I don't know if I can cover each one just a little bit, man.
Sure. Whatever you feel comfortable sharing from your book and your work.
Yes, of course, of course. But I think the point here is to help people, right?
Absolutely.
So silhouette basically it's body shape. I don't know if you've ever heard a woman talking about different shapes, pear kind of shape or hourglass kind of shape and all that shit, man, and whatnot. That is silhouette. That is what it covers. You and I know that everyone is different. Each person is different. And basically, what I want to do with this rule is to learn and to be completely honest with yourself and how what what kind of body you have. I mean, I don't care if you want to look like James Bond, but if you're kind of chubby, the problem is that some of my clients or many, if they don't have the body that they make an excuse, right? That, oh man, I don't have the time or I don't have the body that I want, so I'm not going to take care of myself. I'm not going to make an investment into myself because I'm not there yet. I wanna have this body, and when I have that body, I'm gonna start looking better. And that is a complete nonsense. That is stupid, man. You can start where you are with what you have and start looking awesome. With I'm not going to talk about the shapes of women because they're like in real life they're like in everything they complicate everything, right? Women. So they have 8 different shapes, and men we have 4 different shapes.
Cool. So for everybody listening, Pablo is just going to go over the basics of this SPFC system. If it's something that you're interested in, if it's something that has opened up new ideas for you, or it's something you want to explore, I'm going to include his book for free with as one of the bonuses, as part of the bonus for this interview. And you can download it just by clicking the link below this interview. So you can have all the information and all the details that you could possibly need there. And thank you, Pablo, for making that available for everyone. And
Yeah.
back over to you whenever you're ready.
Okay, yeah. The point here is to help people, man, and I really hope that your audience invest in themselves into reading this book because it is a fucking awesome book. You know, it has a lot of content, and I was talking about the silhouette, which covers the body shape. You have to know your body shape, and then to know how to create harmony in the way you dress it, right? So then I'm gonna cover P for proportion. Proportion also. Let me just get back to silhouette. It also talks about the face shape, to know which haircut to choose, which kind of glasses to wear and all that shit. Man. It also covers that. But with proportion, basically, I mean, it's a very extent subject, man. It has to do with a lot of things. I don't know. I sent you my ebook, and I don't know if you read it.
Yeah, I did. I
Uh,
saw all the things about the golden spiral and the phi ratio.
Exactly.
Really good stuff.
It's very amazing that it's not just fashion, right? So with proportion, you have to understand that I'm talking about the different measurements that we have in our body. Like myself, I have longer legs than a torso. I have short torso. So I have to know how to dress that in a way that complements my body to not look odd, to not look like ridiculous with a very short torso. It's basically to create harmony in the image that you're presenting. Like a perfect example of what I'm talking about would be Pitbull. He has short torso and longer legs. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, and he doesn't dress that very well because it is very obvious that he has a very short torso. Google him and you're gonna start noticing those kind of details, man. Like, oh yeah, he's short torso. So with that, you have to know which kind of fit. I mean, which kind of clothes to wear, which kind of textures to wear to create a more proportioned body. Then fit. With fit, it's very simple, man. It's just about the size of the clothing. And again, it has to do a lot with the self-esteem and how you think you are. Because sometimes in the mirror we tend to look what we want to look like. Oh yeah, I'm very good looking, but maybe I'm not good looking. I'm fooling myself. Or we tend to look things that are not there. Like especially with girls, right? That even if they're fucking 10 out of 10, a perfect 10, they're always gonna think they're fat.
Yeah, true.
Always, always, always. Actually, the more hot the girl, the less self esteem they have. Usually, right? But with fit, you have to understand that you have to wear clothes that actually fit you. Too many guys, and I see it all the time, are wearing bigger shirts, bigger suits, or smaller shirts, pants, and whatever, and that looks horrible. I don't know why people do that, man. It's like they're not aware of their body. Again, I don't care. I mean, I'm not promoting being fat, but I don't care if you're fat. Just be honest with yourself and look for bigger clothes that actually fit you. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of body you have, right? For it has a lot of it has to do a lot of with confidence and with self-esteem. So you have first you have to work on your confidence, on your inner game. Just a quick tip of talking about fit. There shouldn't be hanging parts with the clothes or stretching parts. Just a quick tip. And also try on everything when you're shopping. Try on everything, everything. Sometimes you see something and you think it's gonna look awesome on you and you just buy it. Or when you buy on online, when you buy on the internet for clothing, I hate that shit bit because you cannot wear it. You can't try that on.
Yeah, I ordered a jacket. It was this cool like Japanese style, I think. It just looked really badass, and I ordered it from the internet because that's the only place it was available. And it arrived, and the sleeves were so tight, so thin, I couldn't get my arms through the sleeves. So
Oh
what I ended
man.
up doing, I ended up cutting the sleeves off and sewing the hole, and now I just have a really cool vest. I
Well,
made the best of the bad situation, but definitely, anytime you can try on clothes before you buy them, always gonna want to do that for sure.
yeah, always please do so, man. I mean, you're a very creative guy, man, and that's fucking amazing of you. I admire that, but not many people would do that. A perfect tip is just try on everything. Try on everything. Some things that you like might not look good on you, and some things that you don't like or that you're not sure about might look very good on you. So try on everything, man. Try on everything. Clothes that actually fit you, fit your style, fit your lifestyle, fit your proportions and your silhouette and all that, right? And now I'm going to talk about color, the color theory. With colors helps us achieving visual harmony in our physical image. And basically, what color does is the reflection of light, how it bounces into our skin, and how it makes us look. Some colors makes us look healthier and more attractive, and some colors makes us look sad, blue, and unhealthy. One thing you have to understand is the color is divided in two: cold and warm. That's the first things that you gotta learn, and you have to know what type of skin do you have. Is it warm or is it cold? Once you know that, you can begin to understand. You can get a glimpse of the theory about color. A very quick way to know if you're warm or cold. I mean, definitely, if you really want to learn about your color, you have to I have to apply a study, or any professional image consultant will apply a study. But I'm going to give you a quick tip. When you go to the beach, if you get tanned, that means that you're probably a warm kind of skin. You have warm skin. If you get all red like a fucking shrimp, that means that you are a cold skin. And with that being said, warm colors and warm and cold colors. Once you know that, I mean, after determining whether if you have a warm or cold skin, those are classified into the four seasons. The cold seasons are winter and summer, and the warm seasons are spring and autumn.
What are the different kind of, just quick example, like different colors where if you were a winter person versus like a spring person that you would want to wear that would make your skin look better?
Basically, the winter guy is like the guy who lives in New York, right? He doesn't get a lot of sun. And the basic colors that you can wear is red, black, white, navy. On the contrary, that a lot of people believe that black and white are universal, and that's bullshit. The only color that is universal is navy. Let me say it again, man, because this is very, very important. The only color that is universal, it doesn't matter which season you are, is navy, blue navy. But black, white works only on winter.
So on the cold skin, black and white would
Yeah,
work.
on cold skill. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean that just because you're winter, you can never use the spring colors. You just have to know it. This is about balance. This is about the balance between what you like and how you project that. So you have to know that your primary colors are winter and your secondary colors are spring, no, are summer, and the complementary colors are spring or fall. And you have to know how to wear that. I mean, in details, maybe like I see you, you're a winter kind of guy. Probably. I mean, I'm not sure. So you can wear an amazing blue shirt with a yellow tie, maybe, just maybe, in details.
I tend towards like black, silver, and blue is kind of my.
Yeah, silver. Silver is a great, 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 great color for a cold skin.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Now, some examples of the colors that benefit the spring guy. It's peach, beige, brown, yellow, bronze, golden, all those warm colors. Think about a beach, and that's the kind of palette that you're looking for. But again, if you have an interview, for example, you can wear a black suit or a navy suit, and you can go further with instead of you can wear, I don't know, yellow t-shirt. I don't know, man. Just thought. I mean, I'm trying to make a point here that you can combine these colors. But another quick tip and very practical is look at nature. At nature, man. Look at nature. Nature is very wise, and it's telling us all the time how to match colors. A lot of times my clients ask me, "Oh, how do I match this suit with this tie and blah 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 blah." And I tell them very quickly, just look at nature. I mean, if I already told you that you are a winter kind of guy, look for photographs of winter, color palettes of winter, and there you will have a lot of insight. That, oh, right, red is a fucking great color with winter, and I don't know if there's a. I'm gonna send you a picture about there's a bird, a specific bird in Canada that it looks amazing. It's like a bright red in between the white of the snow and all that, and you can get a glimpse of how to match colors, man. So I'm just gonna go very briefly with all the seasons, right? I just go through the winter, and now I'm gonna cover summer.
And you said summer is also for cold skin. Is that right?
Yeah, I just want to make a difference because a winter guy is George Clooney. He's a winter guy, or Obama. Obama is winter. Now summer is also cold skin, but it's like a more a redhead. I mean, maybe you're summer, maybe you're not winter, maybe you're summer. They're more pale. They're more white. They're more white. Like Ewan McGregor. Do you know Ewan? Do you know who he is? I mean, he's the perfect example of a summer, and he can wear the same colors of the winter, but that's his secondary colors. Now the primary colors are lavender, fuchsia, emerald green, burgundy, eggplant, purple. All like wine color. All those kind of colors work perfectly on the summer. Now fall or autumn, the difference is they're more brunettes. A fall color is brunettes, always brown color hair, always. Like who's the Angelina Jolie as a fall.
Yeah, because she has that like darker, warm skin and also the brown hair. I see what you're saying.
Exactly. Now the colors that someone with that season would rock on would be salmon, golden, um, brown, beige, khaki, mustard, of course, navy, chocolate. Those kind of colors, and that basically covers the SPFC system. Now, of course, in the book you're gonna get a lot of insight. I explained with a whole lot of detail the whole SPFC system.
Yeah, I checked it out when you sent me the book a day ago or yesterday. Stuff that I had never considered before. A lot of good drawings and stuff. So, guys, again, I'm going to include the book down below this interview. You can just download it, pick it up for yourself. And Pablo has also graciously offered to let me include his style questionnaire as well in this bonus so that you can fill it out and then send it to him, and he'll give you his personal recommendation for free about what style he thinks, based on your answers, you should be playing with and going for and experimenting with, which is really amazing. And Pablo, thank you again for giving this audience that opportunity.
Yeah, no, thank you. This it's an honor for me helping your audience, man. It's an honor. I mean, I don't know if I can explain a little bit why I do what I do. I do this because it's my way of making the world a better place. Because if you look good, you're gonna feel good, man. I mean, and chances are that if you feel good, you're gonna have more confidence. You're gonna have more self-esteem, and chances are you're gonna live a better life. I have a motto that says, "Look good, feel good, live good,"
I like that.
and that's my value that I offer to the world. It's just making people more beautiful.
It's true, and the most amazing thing, I mean, for the vast majority of my pickup career, or whatever you want to call it, I really dressed very poorly because I had the personality where I could still get away with it somehow. But I'll tell you, since I've started dressing better, I mean, conversations open so much more easily. People are automatically more deferential, more respectful. Um, like the sets hook right off the bat. Like when you're dressed well and you feel good and you're emanating that confidence. And girls are so detail oriented. They can tell instantly the difference between a guy who put no effort into his clothing and a guy who put real thought into coordinating like bracelets and rings and watches and stripes and shoes and all that. So they definitely seem to appreciate that too.
Yeah, it's like an energy that you're projecting. And girls speak on that from the first minute, right? The first 10 seconds, actually. And I just finished this. I just want to say that you have to be aware that it all starts within, right? So for the guys, for your audience that are hearing this and are going to take the time and invest in themselves to actually do the style questionnaire and read the book, it all starts within. And one of the ancient teachings of Buddha was, as within, so is without. So you have to take care. It all starts within. And as you're investing, hearing this podcast or this interview, you're starting to get a lot of more confident, right? It's the first step to become more beautiful. And once you know that it starts within, you're becoming more beautiful from the inside. Boom! You're gonna, as within so without. You're gonna match the inner image with the outer image, man.
Powerful words, man. I can't top that. So, thank you again so much for coming on, for sharing your value with me and with the guys listening. Really appreciate it, and hopefully they'll take advantage of the book and of the questionnaire. So hopefully you'll be hearing from a lot of them soon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope so, man, and I hope we can make this happen another time. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I appreciate this. It was an honor.
Oh, absolutely. Me too, my friend. All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you later.
Bye, my brother.